Alright, so we're going to take a look at an iPad sequence for introducing the iPad to young children. We want to start with apps that the elements are very simple and they only change when the child touches it. So let me turn this around. I'm going to hit play, and this is called Tap and Z Zoo. And what's really nice is this is very early visual attending and tracking still, so that all the tasks that happen is at first the child can just watch it, and if that's all they do, that's fine. That tells you something as well, but they can touch it and something will happen. So this one lets that child choose what are they going to do. Are they going to just watch it, or are they going to touch it? And it trains that child to look at the iPad in a meaningful way and perhaps increase their attention span. So that's that first step, that it only does something when the child touches it. So let's move on to our second step, which is cause and effect. And there's different versions of cause and effect, and we want to start with, alright, here we go. We want to start where the child can touch anywhere on the screen. One good example is baby finger. So we have a blank screen, and anywhere we touch, something's going to happen. And this helps them get the awareness that their actions create a response in the environment, which is the iPad. And it continues to develop that attending to things and visual tracking skills that we want for later on. Another one that's very similar to this concept of where you get something to happen anywhere you touch on the screen is the play piano. So I can touch anywhere with as many fingers as I want, and I get some visual and auditory feedback. Alright, so really nice cause and effect. But we want to move on. We don't want to just be touching anywhere on the screen. We want to learn to discriminate, but still keep some cause and effect. One good one for that is Peekaboo Barn. And that is going to be over here. Made by Night and Day Studios, and they're ready for the holidays. So we have snow. Nice big button to start. And again, you have to touch, it's very specific. If I touch here, nothing's going to happen. But if I touch in the right place, something's going to happen. I'm going to see the cow, it's going to say moo, it's going to show me the cow, and then I touch it again, anywhere, and it closes. So this is looking for more refined hand movements, more refined visual discrimination, a little bit better eye-hand coordination than we were in that previous cause and effect. But now we want to look more at integrated scenes. This is starting to be a scene, but it's still very simple. I'm not having a lot of background stuff, but we want to move on. And so if we take a look at one called Itsy Bitsy Spider, there it is. This one has integrated scenes. It's by Duck Duck Moose, as you can see. And we begin to look at characters, and that characters do things. Fun things happen with our characters. So we have a scene here, and we have the sound of Itsy Bitsy Spider, and our little spider goes up the water spout. Something happens here, and we can say, hey, look at the little eyes, all that kind of stuff. So it's all integrated, and the child has to be able to take in an entire scene and watch what all these characters are doing, and seeing that there's a relationship between them. When I do this, the little eyes go. And this is increasing that visual discrimination and attention span. And because this is a lot like early looking at books, it's really helpful if the adult points things out for the child, like, oh, look, there's that girl in the window, let's see what happens. Oh, now somebody else is in the window, let's open the window. Much like reading a book to a child. Oh, look, the little flowers came up. Let's touch it again. Now let's see what comes up. Ah, the crab. Or over here, let's see what happens. That kind of a thing. So from there, from this looking at an integrated scene and seeing stuff happen, and almost like the precursor to a game, now we can move into those early learning apps that everybody's all excited about. And here the child works with the adult to learn concepts, but to do so with more integrated scenes. So let's do an example here. A very early one is Match It Up by My First App, and this is a great company. They give you a couple for free, and you can always buy more. So it's just really early learning. Let's drag it over. And this is the beginning of learning that dragging skill, because they don't have to do that in much of the other things that we've just looked at. So this is nice for them to begin to get that skill and to do some matching work. And as you know, there's tons of early learning apps, so we won't go into all of those. Instead, we're going to take a look at dexterity. Working on that manual dexterity that we know they're going to need for a lot of things, including using apps. So a nice one is Dot Collector. And we have these dots that just move around, and we have a hole to put them in. So we have to not only slide them, we have to stop it and slide it in and hold and slide. This is going to be a skill they're going to need for a lot of those games and a lot of those learning games. So nice manual dexterity. And you keep getting more and more dots, which makes it more and more complicated. So there's more to look at, there's more to figure out, more of that hand-eye coordination as well. We also have been using iPads, many people do, for communication. So what we see is a lot of times people start off very complicated. I like to start off really easily, simply with something called Verbal Victor. We touch to start it, and you can have as many on your screen as you want. You can have 2, you can have 4, you can have up to 6. It comes with a few preloaded ones, like these are preloaded. I want to go play. I want to stop. Or you can add in your own. I don't happen to have a lot on right now. I think I just have...
I see a duck.
I see a duck. But you can add things in through your own photographs from Camera Roll or from the internet. So this is a nice, simple beginning to learn. When I touch this picture, it says something, and now I'm communicating with people. Then we can work into the more complicated communication apps. Finally, another thing that's a lot of fun for kids is books. And a lot of the books are visually confusing. However, we found a really nice one, Go Away Big Green Monster, that has really nice contrast. You can read along with Ed, with a friend, sing along, read yourself. So we'll hit read ourselves. And we, can read it as we go. We can touch the eyes and things happen. We go to our next page. The nose shows up. Something happens to the nose. But look at this contrast. There's not a lot of busyness. So as we begin to build our face and we do different things and we read our story, we still don't have a lot of busyness behind us. We can play with all the nose and the eyes and the mouth as we go. Nice big arrows for turning the page, which helps little kids. And we just keep going, and so on and so forth. And then we go backwards through the face. But again, just like that classic story, but it's high contrast. There's not a lot of books like that out there right now. This is one of the best ones. So this has taken us through that sequence of very, very simple to more complex with attending and hand and eye coordination.